All right, let's just get right into it. If you're a veteran commercial real estate broker in the South Bay, you know this feeling. I mean, you really know it. It's that same conversation you have over and over again that doesn't really go anywhere. We're going to break down exactly why that's happening and, more importantly, how a huge shift in strategy is changing the entire game.
And this quote, this really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's the core frustration. You're sitting there, maybe in a conference room in Torrance, and for the third time this week, you're explaining the exact same market mechanics. It really feels like you're just giving away your best insights before you even know if this person is a serious client.
So just imagine for a second, what if you could take that lecture, record it one time perfectly, and have a digital you deliver it 24/7? What if you could educate 100 clients at once, freeing yourself up to spend that precious face-to-face time on what really matters, strategy and closing deals? Well, that's exactly the possibility we're going to explore.
Let's actually put a name to this problem, because it's so much more than just an annoyance. It's called the Groundhog Day trap, and trust me, the cost is way higher than just a little bit of frustration. We're talking about a serious inefficiency that is probably holding your business back right now.
You know the script. You could probably say it in your sleep, right? So, how is Measure ULA going to affect my exit strategy? Why are cap rates still so compressed with these interest rates? What's the real timeline for zoning changes down by the port? Look, they're all valid questions, but answering them one by one, again and again, it's a massive drain on your time.
So what does that drain actually look like? Let's put a number on it. If you spend just 3 hours a week on these repetitive educational chats, which is pretty conservative, that adds up to 150 hours a year. 150. That's almost 4 full work weeks you are losing to what is basically free consulting. Think about that. What could you do with an entire extra month dedicated just to making deals?
And this right here, this is the core of the broken model. The old way of doing things, where the education part happens during the meeting, is just fundamentally flawed for today's market. It forces you to invest your most valuable time and expertise before you even have a clue if the person you're talking to is serious.
But, this isn't just about losing time. It's bigger than that. The old tactics, the old ways of doing business, they're actually failing to solve the biggest problems in the market right now. And frankly, that's creating some pretty serious threats to the traditional brokerage model.
So let's reframe the situation. The number one problem in the South Bay right now, it's not interest rates, it's inventory. And that prime inventory is locked up tight by a very specific group, legacy owners. We're talking baby boomers or older who are absolutely sick of getting 5 to 10 cold calls every single week. They don't just dislike it, they see it as a total nuisance.
This quote just says it all. It gets right to the heart of how you're perceived. When you make that cold call and ask, hey, are you interested in selling? You are not seen as a helpful advisor. In their mind, you're a shark, circling a lifetime of their hard work. That door slams shut before you've even had a chance to say hello. And this problem goes beyond just finding deals. It's now about finding talent. The next wave of ambitious Gen Z brokers, they don't want to work for a dinosaur firm that just hands them a disc and a phone book. No way. They want to build their own brand. The firms that are providing media tools and a modern strategy, they're the ones winning the war for talent, plain and simple. And then there's the money. This chart shows the direct financial danger of being a generalist. Your fee power is low, it's flat, you're basically a commodity, and you're always fighting against fee compression. But look at the niche specialist, the person who is the go-to authority on, say, industrial properties in Redondo Beach. Their fees are high and rising because their expertise is undeniable. Okay, so we've laid out all the problems. The wasted time, the locked up inventory, the talent war, the fee compression. It's a lot. But now let's get to the good part. Let's talk about the solution. Because there's a new playbook, a new system that addresses all of these issues with one single powerful strategy. The first piece of this solution is something called Asynchronous Sales Enablement. Now, that sounds fancy, but the idea is actually really simple, and it's radical. You use video to move all of that repetitive education to before the first meeting. This is how you create your digital clone, and this is how you get those 150 hours of your life back.
So what does this look like in the real world? It's simple. A new lead comes in, but instead of immediately booking a 45-minute call, you send them a targeted, pre-recorded, objection-killer video that answers their most common questions. By the time they actually meet with you, they already get the market, they already see you as the authority, and they're ready to talk strategy. You get to skip the entire lecture part of the meeting.
Okay, great. So that solves the time problem. But what about that inventory crisis? What about those legacy owners? For that, we use the Trojan Horse strategy. To get in the door with someone who absolutely hates sales calls, you don't call them to ask for a deal. You call them to give them an honor.
And this is the magic script. It's what we call a pattern interrupt. All of a sudden, you're not another broker trying to get a listing. You're a historian, a documentarian who wants to honor their life's work. You're there to validate their legacy. This completely flips the dynamic, it builds incredible trust, and it puts you at the absolute top of the list when they finally do decide it's time to sell.
So we've solved for time, and we've solved for inventory. But what about the future? The final part of this playbook is about making your career totally indestructible against the biggest disruption any of us have ever seen, artificial intelligence.
Let's just be really direct about this. For decades, a broker's main value was having access to data that clients didn't. That time is gone. It's over. AI is making data completely free and instantly available to literally everyone. So if your only value proposition is running cops, your job is in serious trouble.
So what's left for us humans to do? Well, everything the machine can't do. As data becomes a cheap commodity, what we call the human premium absolutely skyrockets in value. Your value is no longer in the data itself, but in your uniquely human ability to interpret that data, to build trust, and to show real empathy.
And this slide really lays out the new division of labor perfectly. Let AI do the grunt work. Let it run the data analysis. Let it draft the first version of contracts. That frees you up to focus on the high-value human stuff where you are completely irreplaceable, building real relationships and navigating those complex, emotional negotiations. Video is the best tool we have to show that human value at scale. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Can I just use my iPhone for this? And look, the strategic answer is no. When you are asking a client to trust you with a multi-million-dollar asset, a shaky, grainy video just sends the absolute wrong signal. Professional production value tells them that you're serious, that you're an authority, and that you're a premium provider.
And think about this. We're entering an age of AI deepfakes and automated avatars. In that world, a high-fidelity video with professional lighting, great cameras, and crystal-clear audio becomes the ultimate signal of authenticity. It's undeniable proof that a real, human expert is sharing real insight. It is your proof of humanity.
Look, the tools of our trade have fundamentally changed. The phone and the phone book are being replaced by the camera and the microphone. The brokers who adapt to this new reality are going to own the market of tomorrow. And the ones who wait, well, they risk being left behind. The only real question left is, when are you going to make the switch?